So riddle me this, Batman. What do you think banks want from a BPO agent? Do they want a realtor with the fanciest website? Do they want the biggest social media following? The most expensive camera? The nicest car? The answer is no. In fact, after more than 22 years of completing BPOs, REO valuations, and working with lenders and asset managers, I discovered something surprisingly simple. Banks want information. Ding, ding, ding. Reliable information. That's it. And the agents who understand that tend to receive more assignments, fewer revisions, and a better long-term relationship with their vendors. So let's talk about what banks are really looking for when they're hiring a BPO agent. First, they want accuracy. That's probably the biggest one. Banks make financial decisions based on the information you provide. They're deciding whether to approve a short sale, price an REO property, evaluate risk, review a portfolio, or determine market value. Those decisions involve thousands and thousands of dollars, right? Sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. So accuracy matters a lot. Not close enough, not good enough, accurate. And they want honest reporting. Here's something I've learned. Banks don't need good news. They need the truth. And if a property has water damage, document it. If a neighborhood has challenges, document it. If the house needs repairs, document it. I mean, your job isn't to make the property look better or pretty, and it isn't to make it look worse, of course. Your job is to provide an honest picture of reality. So that's what clients are paying for. They want great photos. Remember, the bank isn't standing in the driveway. The asset manager isn't walking through the property. Your photos become their eyes. They want clear photos, complete photos, useful photos, photos that support your comments and tell the property's story. The better your documentation, the easier it is that it becomes for them to trust your conclusions. And they want consistency. Here's the secret. Banks love predictable people. They want agents who submit quality work every time, meet deadlines every time, follow instructions every time, communicate professionally every time. The agents who become preferred vendors aren't usually the most talented. They're usually the most dependable. Consistency builds trust, and trust creates opportunities. They want good communication. Problems happen, properties are inaccessible, weather causes delays, occupants refuse access, instructions change. Banks understand that, and they don't want surprises. If something changes, communicate. If there's an issue, communicate. If you need clarification, you guessed it, communicate. Most problems become manageable when communication is strong. They want strong market knowledge. Banks hire local agents for a reason. They want someone who understands the market, neighborhood trends, buyer behavior, property condition, comp selection, marketability. They aren't paying you to fill out a form. They're paying you to provide local expertise. And that's where your value comes from. They want professional judgment. This is where experience starts to matter. Sometimes it isn't a perfect comp. Sometimes inventory is very limited. Sometimes property is very unique. Banks want agents who can apply sound judgment and explain their reasoning. Not guess, not assume, reason. That's a huge difference. And what they don't want. Let me save you some headaches. Banks don't want excuses, late reports, incomplete photos, generic comments, missing deadlines, poor communication, or reports that create more questions than answers. Remember, the goal isn't to make their job easier. The goal is to make their job easier, not harder. So here's the real secret. After thousands of BPOs, here's what I believe the banks want more than anything else. Confidence. They want to look at your report and feel confident in the information. Confidence in the photos. Confidence in the comments. Confidence in the value. Confidence that you did your job thoroughly, because when confidence exists, trust follows. And trust is what creates long-term vendor relationships. So here's some of my final thoughts. Banks aren't looking for superheroes. They're looking for professionals, people like you and I who are accurate, reliable, responsive, consistent, and honest. If you become that kind of BPO agent, you'll separate yourself from a huge percentage of the competition, because at the end of the day, banks aren't paying us for opinions. They're paying us for trustworthy information. And that's exactly what a great BPO agent delivers. And in the next lesson, I'm going to tie everything together and discuss how all of these skills, from the photos to conditions, ratings to comp selections, combine a BPO report that clients trust and vendors want more. And you can see I'm human. I stutter and stumble, but anyway, I'll catch you in the next video.